Ready to go live. And we are live. Hello and welcome to Real United Talk. My name is Riggs. We're welcomed tonight by Marcus, Mad Marcus. So straight off the bat, we obviously haven't done much in the pre-show, but first of all, reactions to that shower of shit we've just watched.
I don't think you need a reaction, to be honest. I think what you see is what you get. It's exactly what you said. It's a shower of shit. It's embarrassing. I actually think the way we play football is an insult to the word football. I think it's fucking diabolical. It's the sort of football you would see from the old days of Sam Allardyce and Bolton. And even Bolton played a better brand of football than what we fucking did. I think it's disgusting.
I think Gaz Elliott kind of sums up how we're all feeling at the minute, especially with that. I mean, obviously, we know quality man for man. At the minute, we can't compete with City, but what we can match them on is effort levels, and I just don't think those players turn up in that second half. I just think, especially that last 20 minutes, I mean, that was actually painful. Listening to City fans allaying us, I can't remember being that badly embarrassed. I mean, obviously the Liverpool game hurt earlier on in the season, but this one, it's just I even said to my partner, I wish it still hurt, but it doesn't. This one, I was just like, fucking.
No, it doesn't. I'll totally get that, mate. It doesn't hurt at all. I would say it's more expectancy than anything else. You see that line up today, and I retweeted it and was basically like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, you're going to the Etihad. You know, you're going to be on the back foot. You know, you're not going to get much possession. You know, you got a counter attack. You got no centre forward. You're playing probably the most laziest fucking football at number 9. And you're playing a guy who's out of form behind him. It's a fucking shambles. It's an absolute shambles. You know, the midfield, as soon as you see the two banks of 5, you know, mate, why this guy isn't getting slammed for it is unreal. But hang on a second, Rich, my little one's here. What's up,
I found an app. I just saw an advert. There's an app that you need. It says earn money by playing games. And you can get gift cards. Yeah, and I want you to make me some Amazon ones.
Right. You hear that?
Yeah, that's you, Phil.
Right, back up the bedroom, please. Back up first. All right, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. All right. Yeah. Bang, I've got to earn money now. She wants Amazon gift card.
Well, you've been told.
But yeah, you know, you got 2 banks of 5, mate. I mean, come on. I mean, even, you know, Pep plays with the false 9. Mourinho's played with a false 9. Mourinho's played with a target man. Pep's played not even with a target man, to be honest. I wouldn't have, well, Aguero, yeah, I suppose. But, you know, why this guy isn't being absolutely bombarded for this is unreal. It's unreal. But, I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect from a guy who's probably his knowledge of football comes from being as a consultant or as a director, right? I don't care what anyone says, I don't class being a manager of fucking Schalke twice, right, warranting the job for in there, right? And I read a quote from him today on Sky Sports saying he's got his opinion about the next managerial team for next season, right? I can tell you now, I know what his opinion is straight away. I know what his opinion is, and it'll be, let me do the summer transfers and give me another season with these, right? Because who in their right mind as an interim coach, or whatever they want to call it, caretaker coach, at one of the biggest clubs in the world, would not want that money. No matter how bad a job they do, would not want that money.
Oh, I agree on that one, but I think I see. I'd love to be able to say, well, you're wrong because he's done it in the past, but you would be right. Actually, he did do it at Leipzig. He did say to him, "Let me have another year," and he did do well for him. But I don't know. Perhaps he would just get the same amount of money because obviously he's got a 2.5-year contract. Obviously, two of those are potentially in the consultancy role. But I mean, I've said from day one, if we can't get Ten Hag, I would rather keep Ralph for another year. I'd prefer that over Poch. I mean, with today's lineup, I don't think there's a lot he got wrong when you look at the people who were out. Obviously, Shaw and Varane were out because they tested positive for COVID. Cavani, fucking, I don't even know what the crack is with him.
Oh, he's on holiday, isn't
he? Yeah, apparently, Ralph said before the game he trained really well for the last 3 days, and then he's just said, "I'm not fit enough." Ronaldo, apparently, you've got Ralph coming out and saying he's got a bad hip. You've then got apparently an insider source on Instagram saying this isn't the case. He's been dropped. I don't see that being true. I honestly don't think that fucking Ralph would drop his only striker because at the minute, fucking who's there to come in and play that striking role? You've either got Rashford, who's I don't even fucking know what he's doing, and you've got Charlie McNeil in the youth academy. So it wouldn't make sense to drop him unless he was injured. Although how bad he's been, it literally would not make any sense at all. You wouldn't drop your only striker. That's like dropping your only goalkeeper. It wouldn't make sense.
With the form Ronaldo's in, mate, I would have dropped him. I really would have. One goal in 10.
I would have dropped him if we had somebody to come in for him, like Cavani, but obviously.
I'd have gone with fucking Rashford up front, right? Sancho left, Elanga right. Played that 4-3-3. Stick with McTominay and Fred. Bruno just in front of them. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the three paciest boys in the team for the counter-attack. And you know what? I'd have dropped Harry Maguire today as well. I really would have. And as stupid as it sounds, I wouldn't have played Lindelof. I don't know what's the matter with Varane at the minute. He's got
COVID.
Right, okay. So then, therefore, Lindelof would have had to play. And you know what? I would have dropped Maguire. I'd have gone for fucking Phil Jones. I really would have.
I don't know whether he's injured or not, but arguably he might have been with Phil Jones. But I do get your point. Because
you see that game Phil Jones played 90 minutes in, right? He put fucking everything on the line, mate. He was solid.
But I think to drop him into that City game would have been maybe... I mean, obviously, arguably, he couldn't have done worse with hindsight to look at because, I mean, Maguire... Arguably, they both did just as bad as each other today. Lindelof was bad for the...
They're fucking terrible.
The ball lobbed over for Foden when he nearly scored.
Yeah.
It was just like a comedy of errors. You really... you get some people who say, Varane hasn't made that much difference. Not being funny, I noticed a massive difference when he's not playing than when he is.
Yeah. There's when Varane plays, mate, it just seems more solid. All right, they still leak chances, but to me, I just feel a lot safer with Varane there. Not so much with Maguire at all. You know, he only got, but let's face it, he only got bought to United, mate, because of what he did with the fucking Euros. You know, that's all that was. It's the similar situation to Grealish. You know, as good as I think he is, it was the reputation with England that linked him with United.
Yeah, it was. I found it. I actually messaged my mate towards the end of that match, and I was talking about Grealish in general. How Gary Neville was saying, "Oh, Grealish has been fantastic this game. He's done so many good things that he hasn't been doing lately." And I was like, "Am I missing something? Is it because I'm obviously watching it from a United point of view? I'm not taking much notice of Grealish and what he's kind of doing, or is that just a lot of shit?" Because I'll be honest, almost forgot Grealish was playing. If you ask me, I'd say the most influential players were obviously Mahrez towards like the latter end of the game, but Foden and De Bruyne, I thought they pretty much like almost, especially De Bruyne, they ran that game. I'd say Grealish was the most ineffective one out of all of them.
What, from a City point of view?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But I mean, from where that first goal came, you know, he had two players on him, and he still managed to make a pass.
No, the assist came from Bernardo Silva.
Well, yeah. But Grealish was involved with that, wasn't he? Because you flicked it on and that towards the byline. But even in the second half, mate, every time Grealish got that ball out on that left-hand side, Wan-Bissaka was there, and McTominay was out there with him as well. So I don't think he was as great as what Neville says. Yeah, you'd have to say he influenced the game by drawing Wan-Bissaka closer to him. I mean, but I would say actually from that left-hand side, I would say Cancelo probably more effective than fucking Grealish, to be honest. I think the De Bruyne run the show. And I think when you've got one man at the age of, what is he, 30, 31 now? De Bruyne?
De Bruyne.
When you got one man, mate, taking out that whole bank of five virtually, from United's point of view, yeah.
It would be 31 in June.
Yeah, there's a fucking major problems right at United. United just embarrassment is too good of a word. They're fucking dreadful.
Up until the second half, I wasn't obviously pleased because we went in obviously 2-1 down, but I could see. I even said to my partner, I said, although we're losing, I can see us getting back in this, and even I could see we were creating chances, and perhaps on another day we defend a bit better and we go in at 1-1, but. Then the second half came, and I thought to myself, "Oh well, it's a derby, more of the same." And it just did. They just did not come out in that second half for whatever reason. I don't know, but
it's a regular pattern, though, Riggs, right? Because since this guy's come in, it's the same fucking story. One half they're good or semi-good, the other half they're shit. It just depends whether it's the first half or the second half.
Yeah.
And there's only been, I think to my recollection, 2 or 3 games where we've scored or we've won a game more than by the odd goal. Right? Now, this guy, what was it, 4.5 months now? Right?
November. Yeah, you're probably looking about right.
Yeah. That is plenty of time. You don't need. He cannot come out and say they're still trying to adjust to my tactics, right? There was that big fucking to-do about the press, which I've only seen 45 minutes of against Palace, right? There was a big to-do about the amount of fucking chances created, which, apart from the last game where we created 20 odd chances and still fucking lost or drew, wherever it was, that's the only game I've seen that in, right? There were people saying, proper legit sports journal, not these fucking twats on YouTube that think they know everything with connections, right? But proper fucking sports people that said Ronaldo coming back was going to be a good thing and all that. It isn't at all. It's not at all. That guy got Ollie sacked, no doubt about it, because he wasn't needed. For a counter-attacking team, he was not needed at all. And for them to bring in this sports psychologist, right, 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago, what the fuck has it done, to be honest? I mean, what has it done? Nothing. So it's not the mentality at all, because that sports psychologist should have sorted that out now. You think the amount of times they do training, right, during the week, preparing for a game, they must train. If they've got a week, they must train, 5 days out of 7, right? if they're playing every 3 or 4 days, they've got to train for at least 2, right?
Yeah.
So you think the amount of training sessions this guy's had, this sports psychologist has had, right, to sort that mentality out? No, it's not a mentality thing.
I don't
It's
think
not
it's
a tactic thing.
I don't know. I think the truth lies somewhere in between. If I'm honest, I think the whole gegenpress. I think Ralph's almost abandoned that because I don't think he's got the players to do it. That system, in my opinion, would only work if you've got the players to implement it. If you've got hard-working players who will literally, give you everything, whereas I think our players don't. And I think that might be. I think that's like I say. I think that's both a mentality issue because obviously that involves in your work rate and your effort levels, and I think it also comes from the fact that a lot of these players are Man United players in name only. I don't think. I think it's just they almost use that position as a status symbol, and I think in an ideal world, some of these players that we've played top dollar for wouldn't even fucking get into previous teams of the past, like the glorious teams of 08 and even the lesser sides of like 2011. I think it was 11, which was arguably a boring season, but we still went on to win the Premier League. But I don't even think some of these players would get into that. So, I mean, I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's just there comes a point where you just like. You've almost got to stop looking at it with rose-tinted glasses and see it as obviously you've got your thing about a manager. I think he's does well, and I think I have seen an uptick in a positive way of playing since obviously the downfall of Ole. But at the same time, I think it's hard to to actually put into words how I feel because I'm that frustrated because I think some shit, not shame. What's the word I'm looking for? Some criticism should come of the managers, yes, but I think more of it should come on the players because if obviously Ralph does go and he does move his consultancy role, how many managers will that be now under this same set of players?
Mourinho, Ollie, Carrick,
Van Gaal. And obviously, it's not the same core 11 players, but it seems to be something that beds in from manager to manager. It seems to be like some players that is just I just don't know anymore.
Right, with that, right, how many times can we have a manager come in, get rid of a load of players, right, start the process again, this transitional period, right?
Yeah.
And then sack him before he gets to finish his project. It's just going to be a fucking circle over and over. And this is why I was quite pleased with Ollie because I still think now, eventually, he'd have got it right because he knows United. He knows the way United play. He was in touch with the fans. He knew how to have a style for European football. He had the guidance of Sir Alex there, if needed, right? You can't tell me that, the likes of Mourinho or fucking this Wreck-It Ralph would go to Sir Alex and say, what do you think the problem is? Because they're too experienced. They would think their way is the best way.
Yeah, it'd be a pride thing as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, even with Ollie, I mean, when we did eventually let him go, not gonna lie, I was pretty gutted. But I do actually think it was the right decision because I always said, even in our early days of having this channel and whatnot, and even during our hiatus, I said I'd judge him on that season. On this season, this is the season to judge him. I remember George Kyle coming on, us having an argument with him, and me saying, I still believe in him, even when we lost the Europa League final, even when we lost no, it wasn't. We actually wasn't doing the Europa League final. It was the semi-final when we got beat off Seville George Carl saying, "Oh, I think he's not good enough. This is the reason why we won't win trophies and whatnot." And I remember saying, "No, this isn't, this isn't the end project." But I think that I think the Ronaldo thing almost fucked it.
Last summer fucked him. It fucked him. Well and truly, it fucked him. You don't bring in Sancho to play counter-attacking football and then go and get a 37-year-old who can't fucking really run anymore to play counter-attacking football, right?
I don't believe for 1 second Ronaldo was part of the project.
No.
I believe they would have gone for somebody else. Maybe. I think it was just a case of, oh shit, Ronaldo's going to go to fucking City. That looks bad on us. It looks bad on his legacy. It looks bad on the Glazers for allowing it to happen. We can't let this happen. But, I mean, I was kind of happy when Ronaldo came back. I'm not saying Ronaldo is the cause of all these problems because I believe it's a number of things stacked on top of each other that's creating the problems at the moment. But I'd say, obviously, Ronaldo is one of them, which pains me to say because I absolutely adored Ronaldo when we first bought him. I remember fucking watching the pre-season friendly and being like, what the fucking hell, who's this guy? But I do agree with you. I don't think he was part. I think since he's came, I think he's almost been a negative side for us because I almost feel like especially under Ollie, it was like Ollie had put together this, I wouldn't say way playing because I still don't fucking have a clue how all his tactics were. But whatever they were, he had to then go at the opposite as soon as Ronaldo came in. And yes, people will say, like, I'm sick of hearing that. Oh, you can't criticise Ronaldo because if not for him, we wouldn't be in the Champions League still. Well, who's to say we wouldn't? Who's to say we wouldn't? Perhaps if he might not have played, we might have scored more goals in those matches. We might have had more of a threat up front. Obviously, not quality wise, but we might have had more speed up front.
We'll go by that. If he's the only reason, right, we're in the Champions League, right, and seeing as he plays every fucking game, he's the reason our league position is so shit. Then, yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose when you put it like that, the same people are saying, "Oh, it's because of him. Thank him for this." Then we should thank him for our current form.
Let's thank him for our league position as well. And fucking great job, man. Fantastic. He was brought in to score us goals, and he can't score goals in his last 10 games, or he's only scored one in his last 10 games. So thanks for winning all these games, Ronaldo, and thanks for the league position. Thanks for getting us through the Champions League. But, when we need you, you've got a fucking hip problem because you're too old to play now. It's as simple as that.
I mean, does it not? I mean, I'm not going to lie. It feels horrible saying these things. It really, for me, especially. Yeah, and it is. And you've got some people saying, "Oh, true fans would never turn on Ronaldo." True fans would turn on Ronaldo. True fans would never fucking put their estimation or opinion of a player above the wants and values of the club.
No player is bigger than the club.
Exactly. It was the same for Rooney. It was the same for Rooney towards the last couple of seasons. He was arguably weighing us down.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until Mourinho had the bollocks to bench him all the time, right, that people sort of realised, when he comes on, he does fucking slow us down because he can't run, right? But one thing I'll never forgive Mourinho for is for him bringing him on to break that record of fucking Bobby Charlton's, man. That don't sit right with me at all. Not at all. You don't have a guy who was twice asked for transfers away, dictated to the club his last contract, told the club what he wanted the armband because he was England captain, and wanted 3 or 4 year contract instead of 2, right? Just so he knew that he could break that record. And then you've got, he's a scouser through and through as well, right? And then you got fucking Sir Charlton, Mr. Manchester United, been there, seen it all, done it all. And he's he sat there looking at that, mate. No, that don't sit right with me at all. That was just a blemish that Mourinho did. He wanted to fucking show that he did something. You know, he wanted something on his CV that said, well, you know, I was there when, without me, Rooney wouldn't have broke the record, sort of thing.
Yeah, and it was almost a similar case with, do you remember Gomez? He brought him on at like 16 and like one day or something stupid. So he had like, he could say, oh, Mourinho never plays youth. That's why I started the youngest ever player. But it was
and
just
creates an award for McTominay, didn't he? You know, it's
young player.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, it's fucking
that
stupid.
just goes to show, like the last couple of seasons, we literally have just become this fucking weird ass club. Like, obviously, going back to Ronaldo, I mean, I don't know whether it was the same for you, but even when we signed him, and obviously he changed his mind for not going to City, did that left a bit of an horrible taste in the back of my mouth. I mean, obviously he came to us, but it still pisses me off a little bit to this day, the fact that you were even contemplating
consider going there.
Yeah, because it's not. I viewed it as in. It's like me saying to my partner, "By the way, I'm thinking of leaving you, but I'm gonna stay. You should thank me for that."
No.
And then they're being like, and then me, well, we can't be mad because I haven't left, but I was gonna. Well, obviously, no. I suppose that's the wrong analogy, but you get where I'm coming from. It's like you were going to go there. You had all the intention of going there. If not for us saying, no, it will come to us. If not for arguably, Sir Alex and me all talking to him, you would have gone there.
But you look at the stick, right? Even going back many years ago, right? You look at the stick of Schmeichel when he went, right? Mm-hmm. Tevez when he went to there. Mm-hmm. Mark Hughes, United centre forward, not only playing, managing as well, right? Those, that's just a few, but those players, right, got hundreds and hundreds and thousands of letters and fan mail and stuff like that, hurling abuse at them, right? Fans in the ground, everything. They had fucking buckets, bottles of piss fucking chucked at them and everything, right? Why is this guy not getting the same treatment, right? Because in a day and age of digital, it suits everyone. Everyone has their own agenda. Oh, I can't say nothing about Ronaldo because that'll lose me views. That'll start an argument. That'll do this. That'll do that. Fuck that. All right. Fuck that, because that's not a true fan. You're hiding your true feelings. Yeah. In my eyes. So therefore, he should get the abuse for even contemplating going there.
And it's built as this almost like fairy tale like thing, isn't it? It's like, the prodigal son returns, and it's like, well, hang on a minute, you wasn't going to.
I read today, right, that Andreas Christensen at Chelsea, he's had 6 offers from Premier League clubs, right? He will not go to another Premier League club out of respect for Chelsea, right? But then this so-called megastar, all right, yeah, he is. He is an absolute fucking sensation of football. And legendary at United to some people. But to even contemplate or consider going to not just a Premier League club, but United's rival as well. Look at the shit Michael Owen took from coming from Liverpool to United. Right. Yeah. Look at the shit Mikel Silvestre got from going from United to Arsenal. Why you get away with it, I don't know. Because people just they think this guy is God and all that, but when you look at the bigger picture, he's just a footballer. He wants, he wants what everyone else wants. He wants the payday, mate. At 37 years old, right, if he was interested in winning trophies, right, he would not have come back to United. Not a chance. Everyone knows. Yeah, everyone knows United ain't winning no fucking Premier League for the next 5-10 years.
Well, we know why. We obviously we know why we brought him back, because, like I said, it's the story tale, it's the fairy tale, prodigal son returns, he's coming back to help us get back to the glory days, and it sold shirts. And not gonna lie, I've literally got to talk with him with his name on the back of it, because it gives you that feeling. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this is me looking into something, because obviously how shit we are at the minute. It almost deflects. But like I said, I don't think Ronaldo's the main source of all our problems. Far from it. I think our problems go, a lot deeper than all this. But I just think
the problem starts with Ronaldo, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, let's do this from top to bottom, right? So the problem starts with fucking Glazers, right? No doubt about it. It goes right down then to Richard Arnold, right? It goes down then to Sir Alex being a director or whatever he is there, because he shouldn't be there, because that, to me, it comes across as like an intimidation. Mm-hmm. You're trying to fill the shoes of some guy who's still there, looking above you, looking down on you. Then I would say it goes down to the American, the Scotsman, and the German on the bench, on the touchline. Then it goes to Ronaldo. Then it goes to Pogba. Then I would probably say it goes to
Nicky Butt.
No, I'd leave him out of it. But then I think it would probably go to McTominay and Fred, because we need something else in there. Them two just don't cut it if you want to go. Then it goes to the captain, Maguire. And I think that would be it. I think you sort them problems out, and if you look at it, right, that's right down the spine, from top through the team, right, to the goalie, right down the fucking middle. And what's the main? If you're old school, mate, what's the main basis of a football side? The spine of the team.
Yep.
Right.
You don't mess with the spine of the team. You don't mess with your centre backs. You don't mess with your midfielders.
No, you got an old man, right? As your strike force, right? You've got the most laziest fucker in football who doesn't even want to be at United, right? In your midfield as your creator, right? You've got the most useless English centre-back ever known to man in the game of football as your captain. And where are those three positions? Right through the middle.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I was watching Stephen Howson the other day do a podcast when I was out running, and he said, somebody asked him, would you put Maguire in the top 10 centre backs of the Man United Premier League era? And when he actually named off the players, I was like, shit, man, he actually is right. It was like, he's not better than Vidic, not better than Stam, not better than Rio, not better than Ron Johnson, not better than Wes Brown, not better than John O'Shea, not better than Phil Jones. And it's like, oh, not better than Varane. And when you name the office, and when he actually put it into words, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, this is actually right. This is our captain.
Yeah, it's amazing. No one looks at the bigger picture, Riggs, right? They're all dead. The fact, I can say that sounding a bit arrogant, but fans these days, right, I find there's no patience in the game, right? There is no patience in the game. Everyone wants instant success because of the money. Everyone wants to be like the next one, right? But there is one thing I will agree with Ralph on, right? And that's when he said, when you look at the bigger teams now, the Liverpools, the Cities, the Bayerns, you look at them, what's the one thing they've all got in common? Consistency with the manager. They get a manager in and they stick with him, whether it goes low or whether they stay at the top, right? You have to give. If a manager has a 3 to 5 year plan, you've got to give that manager that 3 to 5 years. It's no good picking a manager now to implement new tactics or anything like that. I think now what United need now is a manager that has a tactical a tactical head that suits these players. You don't need a manager now to change things around to get these players to adapt to something new. You need a manager that will work with these players now who they all have the same ideas, so they're all on the same wavelength. And that's it. And, that is...
makes the dream work.
Yeah. So I think the choices... you know what? I read on Sky Sports today, mate, that Southampton manager, apparently, has made it on the shortlist.
You know what? Although you probably wouldn't think of that, I would say that I wouldn't be a million miles away from being quite happy with that, because I think it makes the foundations of your club better, and it's better than... He's arguably not better than Ralph, because Ralph, I think it's who falls under his tutelage. I think it's Hasenhüttl, Tuchel, Klopp, and a couple of others. But I think you could do a lot worse than him. No, fuck. I think I'd rather have Hasenhüttl than Pochettino anyway, definitely. But he wouldn't be my first choice. But I could see why. But I mean, any manager that does come in next, I don't think it's a case of tweaking a few players. I think in an ideal world, we'd literally need to get rid of, obviously, 9 or 10 players that are surplus now. But I think we'd also need to get rid of at least 5 or 6 first-team players who are playing at the minute. I think you need rid of... I think you need a new left-back, because I don't think Luke Shaw's good enough. I say you need a new right-back, because I don't think Delors or Wan-Bissaka is good enough. I think you need a new centre back. I think you need a new midfielder. Obviously, if Pogba's going, I think you need a new winger as well to go with Sancho, because obviously Greenwood's fucking doing whatever he's doing, and that's all we'll say on that one, Marcus. And then you've got and then you're going to need a striker, because fucking, like I said, both our strikers are arguably going to be in a fucking OAP home at the end of the season. So it's like, it isn't going to be a case of, we're going to bring in a new manager and in 2 years' time we hope to be challenging. I'd say now we're at least 5 or 6 years of challenging. That's not even winning. I'd say that's challenging.
I always said, mate, even when I was on that other fucking shit thing, I always said United will never win the Premier League again in my lifetime. I'll never see them win the league again. They might win the odd cup now and again, but I don't think they'll win the Premier League.
Well, funny enough, you're saying that, because he said something similar the other day, Goldbridge. He said he doesn't think he'll see Man United win another Premier League under the Glazers.
Yeah, see, now 4 or 5 years ago when I said that, right, I was a fucking Looney Tune. Apparently, I didn't know what I was talking about, according to him, right? Mm-hmm. But now he's changed. Well, he changed his mind like the fucking weather, didn't he? That prick. But
he's gone so far out. He's like saying the reason we are where we are is because fucking Maguire and Fred have got more followers on Twitter than fucking Ruben Diaz of City.
What followers on Twitter got to do with anything?
Because he's saying with social media FC, which, I mean, to a degree, I do think he's right. I do think in the next couple of hours, we are going to be seeing tweets, or we're sorry, we go again next game, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think we'll see that.
I reckon we will. And about 2 days' time, we'll see the pictures of the training pitch, the whole fucking, winning team, hey, everyone together. I don't want to see that. I want to hear about bust-ups now. At this point, I want to hear about players being sent home from training for fucking arguing with each other and stuff like that, because it shows that they actually care.
But this generation, mate, it won't happen. Things like this don't happen there. You got to be nice. You have to. The rules are you got to be nice and polite to all the queers and lesbians in the world today. You got to sit there. You got to say hello, and you got to be all nice and pally. You got to shake hands after the games against rivals. You got to give them hugs and stuff like this, mate. Bust ups and that, it don't happen anymore. The world has gone soft, right? Keno said that fucking multiple times. The days of.
Could you imagine Keno going in that training route?
Mate, I'd love Roy Keane as manager at United. He'd fucking sort that team out.
I mean, as a player.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Mate, he wouldn't stand for any of that shit. He wouldn't stand for your fucking phone, on the phone.
Under these players, he would be made out to be the bad guy, the person that would be thrown out because of he's not a team player, he's a negative influence.
It's fucking pathetic. As soon as they come under a bit of trouble, and as soon as they start feeling the heat about something, they're straight on their phones, showing solidarity, and we're all for this, we're all for that, and it's bollocks. It's publicity stunts. That's all it is. It's publicity stunts. It's a fucking joke, and it's not just United, mate. It's every team. I get sick to death of fucking seeing it on Twitter. I had two mates today, two close friends of mine today, message me on Twitter and actually give me their phone numbers and their emails, right? Because they're sick to death of social media, of how you cannot say anything without someone twisting it, right? And I totally agree with them. One of my friends in America, he commented on a picture, right? Two guys holding hands, right? And he retweeted it and he put, "What a beautiful sight," right? And the abuse he got for just saying that, something so simple, so innocent. Oh, you're a fucking, was it something like, oh, are you gay bashing? Are you homophobic? All this fucking crap, right?
How if it was two men holding hands?
All this crap, mate. It was just absolutely awful. And I read it and I was like, what the fucking hell is going on here, mate? You can't even put a comment on someone's tweet now without getting abuse or anything. And it's just...
You should be free to love whoever you want. It's today's society. And I also feel like going on about since how toxic things are, especially at the moment. I even seen I keep seeing it about the whole Ukraine thing, and obviously I just do want to say, if there is anybody that watches from Ukraine and whatnot, our thoughts and prayers are with you on that one. It's horrible what's going on over there, but I even seen somebody complaining the other day that Man United did the peace thing with the players, saying, "Oh, where was this for this situation? Where was this for that situation?" And it's like, we can't even do something that might be a positive thing without it somehow biting us on the ass.
Yeah. Someone fucking twists it and then it gets rolling and then it rolls and then it escalates just like a snowball. It just, people, and you just think to yourself, what, is it even worth the hassle? I mean, like I said to you the other day, last time we was doing it, I only fucking keep up with the news, mate. I don't even, I just tend to not just speak to anyone. I tend not to put like replies. I tend just to like the tweets and retweet them. I don't even want to reply to them anymore. Not because I'm scared or anything like that, but I just can't be fucking arsed with dealing with these narrow-minded people on Twitter who think they are famous because they've got a blue tick next to their name, or they follow some fucking stupid cunt who does a video on YouTube. It doesn't impress me at all. It doesn't. But again, I'm old school. I'm getting old now, so
mate,
I'm just back in the 90s. It was so much better. Back in the 90s, mate, you could go to bed, you could leave your front door and your back door unlocked, you could leave a window open, right, and you knew you were safe. Now you got to be worried about some fucking scouser coming through the window and running off with your telly. It's awful. It's awful. I just think the world that we live in now, the society, the way social media connects, I don't think these players deserve. I mean, the racial abuse, that Rashford still receives because of the World Cup, and Sancho.
And Saka's the exact
And Saka.
same.
Mate,
obviously he doesn't play for us, but I even seen it today. Somebody put he played really well today for Arsenal, and somebody put, oh well, he let us down in the in the Euros. He let England down. It's like,
yeah. I read one today, mate, on that. He tweeted out something, or Arsenal tweeted out something, and I don't know why, but I clicked on it. It was in my fucking trending thing for some reason. And I clicked on it just to see how they got on, because Jem is an Arsenal fan. And I see some comment there as like something along the lines of, did anyone notice that last 3 penalties at the World Cup were done by black people? And I was like, what's that got to do with anything? You know, what has that got to do with anything? And it's obviously an Arsenal supporter. I see Chelsea fans yesterday, I read, chanting Abramovich's name during the game.
Well, to be fair, it's expected from them, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously I do need to say, look, not every Chelsea fan's a fucking racist or a fucking fascist,
but they've
or
got the
whatever.
reputation, though, haven't they?
Yeah.
They've got the reputation, this is it. And then that leads you in to the politics, you know, to the manager, the English press, asking Tuchel, you know, what's going on.
Did you not see that? We went, you need to stop asking me about this.
Yeah.
I'm just the manager.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? Has he got any say in who Abramovich sells it to, is he? You know, really? No, I'm talking. So, yeah, you know, it's just, it's fucking
yeah, he's online.
Yeah, it's just fucking stupid, you know. I'm talking to Reese. So, yeah, you know, it's fucking stupid, mate. All the shit that goes on. Get fucking sick to death of it.
But yeah. Live in a shit world at a minute. Anyway, so
what's your thoughts then?
Go on.
What's your thoughts on this then? Where do we progress? Where do we go forward?
What, with Ukraine and Russia?
No, with United.
Burn the fucking club down. If it were up to me, like I said, I would I'd appoint Ten Hag. And if we can't get Ten Hag for another year or so, give it to Ralph or Hasenhüttl. Because obviously, I think that would be a seamless thing to go to one of them too, because they've got a similar playing style. And like I said, I'd been off half the first team, and that's not even like including the players that are surplus to requirements, the likes of your Phil Joneses, your Matiches, and fucking Lingards and whatever not. And just literally start again. Start from scratch. Go out and buy young, hungry players who aren't stars yet and make them into something. Because I can't think of many players we've signed as superstars, and it's actually worked out. And this even goes back to the Ferguson days. The likes of, Juan Sebastian Veron. He was world class when we brought him, and it just doesn't work out. And other teams can buy world class players and immediately hit the ground running. I can't think of many players that we bought who are world class and continue to play at that particular level.
Wow.
Rooney, we pretty much took him to the next level and made him world class. Ronaldo, same case. Beckham, Scholes, Roy Keane. All these players that went on to be world class, we particularly made them. And there's not many players you can think of that come to us at world class level and continued that form. Like you've got Di Maria, was world class, came to us, went to shit. You could even argue Juan Mata. When he was at Chelsea playing that number 10 role, he was arguably world class. He would arguably walk into any team in the world. But obviously, we then mismanaged him and played him as a fucking right winger. So, there's many, many different fucking players and whatnot. But I just think, like I said, get young, hungry players that, want to actually beat the club and don't just see it as in, fucking, look at me. I'm a Man United player. I want to see, I don't want to see this, we go again, we do this, we do that. But like I said, that's just one humble man's opinion.
Well, it's a dead cert we'll have Martial back, mate, because even Sevilla don't fucking want him, do they?
Apparently not. Fucking
crap.
Honestly. But like I said,
I don't know why it takes. I don't know why it takes Riggers so long, right, for people to see. I really don't. Oh, he's a one-season wonder, that kid. He had a good first season, and he's been fucking shit ever since.
Even in our earlier streams, when we first started doing this, I remember saying, I don't think Martials are going to be our out-and-out striker. I believed that it was going to eventually be Greenwood, but obviously that's not happening now. So it's just...
Mate, you never know about Greenwood, man.
And on that note, I'm ending this. I'm not going into this again.
Never know. I texted you earlier, didn't I? Another 2 weeks, mate.
I think
if it's that cut and dry, where is it?
Could take ages, or can't it? Look at Mendy. I've actually seen the proof. I've actually seen the pictures and the things he's done, and he's still not arguably convicted. I think he's in custody though. I don't know what crack is with Greenwood, but apparently, like I said, the police
Greenwood's at his own, mate. Greenwood's at his house, isn't he? He's moving or something next week.
It's something thing here. I just don't know, but the police have asked obviously people not to comment on it in case we end up perjuring the case. So.
Yeah, how can a random Twitter guy be perjuring the case, man? Come on.
Hey, you don't know about the millions of subscribers that we've got.
Oh well, yeah. You know how the sheep follow, don't you?
Hey. Anyway, I'm going to end it on that one then. Thank you for joining us as ever, Marcus.
No, outspoken as normal.
There, well. There's that one. Unfortunately, Deer couldn't join us tonight. I did send him the invite, but that's it. He's done now. I'm only joking. He'll probably be back next week. But hopefully,
They'll send a message later saying, "Oh, I'm ready, dear."
I'm ready. Go or do a pancake. She used to do that, didn't they? See the message and then be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see it." Yeah. But anyway, thanks everyone for joining. If you are watching at a later time, don't take anything we say too serious. It's just two guys talking about football and having a laugh. Have a good one.
Bye.